Today on Israel Hayom Insider. The World Union of Jewish Students, or WUJS, is an international umbrella organization of Jewish student groups in more than 35 countries. Originally founded in 1924 to fight anti-Semitic quotas that limited Jews' access to higher education, the organization's first president was Albert Einstein. Other WUJS leaders have included Chaim Weizmann, Chaim Nachman Bialik, Sigmund Freud, and David Ben-Gurion. With me in the studio, the outgoing chairman of WUJS, Yos Tarshish, and the incoming president, Avigayil Benstein. Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yos and Avigayil, your WUJS mandate, it covers a huge, diverse group of Jewish students all over the world, across the political spectrum, across the religious spectrum. Is there some common interest that all these students have?
Look, I think that many people, not just students, but especially students, are looking for a community. They're looking for a place to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and they're looking for a place to do meaningful social change to make the world a better place, and WUJS has that to offer them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also that period of life that students are usually in. It's that transition from childhood to adulthood.
Yeah.
Often the first time when they're on their own, the first time they're living away from home quite often, the first time they're starting to make decisions about where their life's going to go. It's often a point where they decide whether they're going to do a different type of Jewish life than their parents have led.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's an interesting piece. It's certainly what inspires me about working with students.
So Yos, you're now finishing up a 2-year term as the chairman of WUJS. What have been the major challenges for Jewish students over the last couple of years?
I think it breaks down broadly by region, but there are a number of different issues. Certainly in many campuses, obviously anti-Israel activism on campus, especially around the BDS movement,
Mm-hmm.
Anti-normalization efforts against Israel, so efforts to stop Jewish students, stop engaging with any group that associates with Israel. In many places it's a broad apathy towards Jewish life, that some Jewish students just are not interested, and there's widespread assimilation. And then in Europe, there's a huge resurgence in the far right, which has been a big issue for Jewish students in recent years. We've seen groups like Golden Dawn in Greece and the Freedom Party in Austria elected into government, Jobbik in Hungary, and that's been a big issue for our students.
Okay, you're now handing the baton off to Avigayil. What is the state of the organization? Is WUJS in a good, healthy state right now?
I think WUJS is in a very healthy state right now, thankfully. After a lot of work that our activists have put in over the last few years, WUJS is in a really exciting place where we've got really exciting programming being worked on. We have we've had our Congress, our annual Congress, which is our flagship event, went from 65 delegates from 19 countries 2 years ago to 165 delegates from 36 countries this year. So we've seen a huge growth in the organization, and it's a really exciting time for Avigayil to be taking over.
Okay, Avigayil, you're about to step into the shoes of Weizmann and Einstein and Freud and major Jewish superstars. Must be very daunting. What do you anticipate are going to be the major challenges in your term as head of the organization?
Look, I think the challenges that Yos just mentioned are still very relevant, but there's been a huge resurgence in Jewish student activity and leadership and activism, and that's something that we're seeing all over the world. There are new unions being formed in all over South America. There are new unions that are, that have been formed in the past couple of years and that are now really representing their national student body. So this is the time when all of these issues are starting to be seriously addressed. And I think that it's really important for everybody to know, Jewish organizations, international organizations, that the Jewish student leadership is both democratic and legitimately representing worldwide Jewish student bodies, and should therefore be taken into account when trying to address these issues that are relevant to everyone.
Is WUJS taken into account? I mean, what are your relationships with other Jewish organizations, the Jewish Agency, etc.?
Look, historically, we've had very good relationships with them, and then over the past 10 years, it's been, we've been a little quieter, and now we're really active, and we're back, and I think that that's something that is really important to know. That we really do have this capacity, this ability to represent Jewish students, to help reach them, and so we should be taken into account and being a part of the conversation and have a seat at the table when major decisions are being made and discussed?
We actually have seats on a number of bodies as well. So we were elected in April to be a vice president of the World Jewish Congress, and we hold a seat on their executive board. We have a seat on the Presidium of the World Zionist Organization and on the Directoriate of KKL, the Jewish National Fund. We were also made members very recently of a body called ICMEO, the International Coordination Meeting of Youth Organizations, which is a body that represents groups like World Scouts and World YMCA, and we're going to represent Jewish students in a forum there.
Okay, I've got a question about this. I saw on your website that one of your partnering organizations is UNESCO. Now, the United States just pulled out of UNESCO. That's where many, many Jewish students live. Israel is also, I believe, pulling out of UNESCO. Very bad relations with the organization. How does WUJS deal with an organization that is not in that does not have good relations with Israel?
Look, we've got consultative NGO status, which means that we have an access to go and to be at meetings and to listen and to talk. We're not a political body in the same way that America or Israel are, and their relationship with UNESCO is not relevant to ours. We're not Israeli. We represent all of the world's Jewish students, and so this is something that doesn't really affect our relationship with UNESCO.
I think also there's a difference in UNESCO between the executive branch, like the professional side, and the political side. And the executive side is very much not anti-Israel. Irina Bokova, who was the former Secretary General, spoke at the World Jewish Congress plenary in April, and the new Secretary General of UNESCO is Jewish, from France. She's a French Jewish politician who is a leader in the French Jewish community.
Avigayil, what do you see as the challenges for the organization itself coming up in the next few years?
Look, I mean, in the last General Assembly that we had, we voted on policies for a bunch of issues. There are issues that are relevant to Jewish students everywhere, like apathy, like anti-Semitism in different forms. And there are issues that are relevant to us as students and not necessarily just as Jews. So, for example, mental health is something that's very important to students everywhere. And we just resolved to start taking a real serious look at how to improve mental health on campuses on a global scale. And that's something that I think is going to be very interesting to see where we develop and, you know, destigmatizing this issue. So that's just one example of like many issues that are relevant to us that we are going to be tackling hopefully in the next couple of years.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like you got your work cut out for you. It's a very interesting time, I think, right now to be a Jewish student. And lots of challenges and lots of opportunities also. I also want to thank the viewers for continuing to watch us. Send us your feedback. We love to get it. And we will see you next time.